All right. Hello. So welcome YouTube viewers. I'm Allie. This is a yin yoga and men class. And we're going to start in just a second. I'm going to hook up my other device, which is the Instagram live stream. If you are a YouTube viewer and want to follow along on Instagram for other posts of stretches, yoga, and wellness related things, you can follow me there. I am at Bally Wellness. That's my Instagram handle, and I'll write it in the description. Okay. So, hello. Oh, let's move this over just a little bit. Okay. Hi, Instagram people, friends, and family. Just trying to get everything up so you can see and that nothing is in the way. Okay, cool. Welcome. So this is a yin yoga and meditation class. And I'm happy to be with you guys. So I've offered 3 classes this week, and they have been mostly an upbeat vinyasa flow. This one is going to be slower. For the best way I could describe yin yoga is that it's the opposite of yang, heat building. It is the restorative nature. It's sometimes the lunar, feminine side of what is met with the masculine, solar, energized yang, other side of the circle. So you may have already been practicing some yin activities this week, especially since with the COVID pandemic, many things are closed and a lot of us are staying home, reading, resting, working from home. I'm hoping that this practice can help you fully surrender to what the yin energy is all about and receive some of the benefits that I believe it offers. So we're going to start. Oh, I should say that we're going to use this blanket. Well, this is a towel, actually. It's a random towel from my bathroom that's going to work perfectly fine as a blanket and strap, yoga strap. So you can grab one of those and then come to lay down and just make yourself comfortable on your back with the towel, blanket, strap nearby. And I'll give you a second if you need to go run and get that. Take your time. Once you come back to your mat, let your feet rest on the floor and the knees point up towards the ceiling. Once you come to settle in here, you can close the eyes and take your hands either both to the belly or one to your belly and one to your heart. And the reason that I'm having you bring your hands here is because you can start to feel a little bit more specifically the rise and fall of your breath. So as you breathe in, notice how the body expands, the chest and belly lift up, and as you breathe out, you soften down towards gravity. And breathing in, make room in the lungs, the ribs open wide, and as you breathe out, you might even release a little bit more of your weight into the floor. Staying here in stillness for just a few more moments before we get into the movement so that you can start to experience stillness. And within the stillness, there's still the movement of the breath. There's probably quite a bit of movement in the mind. See if you could start to settle your mind on the simplicity of the breath, of the coming and going, the rising and falling. And then take the towel, blanket, strap. If you have a yoga strap, by the way, you can feel free to use it. We're going to start with a hamstring stretch, sliding up the ball of the foot into the strap here, or the towel. And then you can extend the left leg long in front of you And that's optional. If the left leg reaching long puts any strain on your lower back, just keep the left knee bent. You can keep the sole of the left foot on the floor. And then closing your eyes, see if you could find a place feeling for it rather than looking for a visual cue. Just kind of feel for that spot where the heel is right above your hip. And it should feel like the thigh bone kind of reinserts itself to the hip joint, plugs back down. You can let the arms relax and the arm bones get heavy. I'm going to extend the left leg out. And if your left leg is extended out, encourage the left thigh to heavy towards the floor. If your maximum stretch for some of you with either open hamstrings is to pull the thigh really close to your face, for today, resist that. So yin is less about going to your maximum, to your edge, and more about finding stillness within the pose. Start to let your breath be the main factor here of movement. If you can, relax again the weight of your arms. So you're not doing much, you're just giving the legs some time to open across the back of the right thigh, the hamstring, the fascia. You could relax your throat and your jaw so that the face is really softening towards the floor. And give yourself, again, another deep breath in and out right here. Feel free to find a little bend in your knee. And then take the strap or towel, whatever's draped over your leg, into your left hand. We're going to take the right arm out to the right and come into this supine twist where you'll gently drape the right leg over to the left side of your body. And the knee can definitely bend here. In fact, you don't really need to hold too much the blanket or towel that you have draped over the right foot. You can if you need to. If you're really holding it on because the foot can't come down, that's totally fine. But if you'd rather let go, you can release that grip. And then find a comfortable place for your chin. So your gaze can either be over your left shoulder. If you really want to take a full spinal twist, you could bring the chin over the right shoulder. In yin yoga, it's less about precision or some really defined arrangement of body parts. It's actually more about getting comfortable in your own body. And you get to watch how you exist within the frame of this pose. So you could close the eyes again. Start to feel how this gentle twist of your spine gives a soft compression to the vital organs along your spine. You can feel that maybe the outer edge of the right leg is stretching, IT band along the right thigh. And see if you could let go of any sense of work or effort here. Start to just listen to the breath. 3 more breaths. And keep releasing as best you can the right hip, the right thigh. After that 3rd breath, you can hold on to the towel again. Bring your leg back up over top of you. And then let's remove the towel. Just move it to the side. Bend the right knee. Interlace your fingers right over the right shin and pull the knee down to the outside of your ribcage. So you're avoiding the ribcage and softly drawing the knee in and down. And then try to release your left foot, the left leg. This is a nice way to create some movement in the belly. It's actually pretty good for digestion. A little bit of compression here on the right side, the ascending colon, as you squeeze the knee in and down. And take 1 more full breath here. And when you're ready, gently release the leg long in front of you. And just be still for a moment here with the two legs long. See if you can notice a difference between right and left. Maybe the right side feels a little longer than the left. See if your breath has slowed down at all. And then take the left leg up, and we're gonna start with the left foot, the ball or the arch of the foot into this canopy of your towel. And then again, see if you want to bend your left knee. So if you're bending the left knee, that's totally fine. In fact, it's great if it helps you bring the heel right over the hip. And then relaxing the back of the neck and the front of your throat. Stay here for about 5 to 8 breaths. No sense of rush. Softening your forehead. Letting the right thigh bone on the floor relax, and always the option, like on the other side, to bring the foot to the floor. See if you could hear the gentle whisper of your breath. Softening even the lips and the jaw. As best you can, let the arms give up any effort, releasing the shoulders. And then just like we did with the right leg up, you can start to drag the left leg over to the right side of your body. And if you, like I have here, if you have an object, a couch or a wall, feel free to push into it. Sometimes it's kind of nice, I'm gonna lose the towel for this one, to release the foot into the couch, or maybe like push a little bit actively. You can increase the stretch on the outer side of your left thigh T-band. Taking your arms wide, you can push the head into the mat and even out the shoulder blades so that the upper back is more evenly dispersed on the mat. Finding a direction for your chin that feels natural. Feel free to close the eyes. The left knee can be straight or bent. Letting time and breath be the main forces at play here. So there's not much you need to add on or strive to achieve. It's really just letting the body sink into the pose. And even further, letting your mind sink in. Wrapping your attention around the breath. Stay for 2 more breaths here. Notice if your mind starts going elsewhere, jumping around from thing to thing, and keep tethering it back to the moment, to your breath. And gently pull the leg back up and extend the leg up. If you lost the blanket or towel like I did, you can just leave it to the side. Otherwise, right now, remove it. Bend your left knee and then pull the knee to the outside of your rib cage. So you're not digging the thigh into the ribs, you're really pulling the knee in and down, interlacing the fingers. You can let the chin gently tuck in towards the throat, softening the eyes. Give yourself a few breaths here to feel this slight compression of the left side of your body, so you're descending colon, giving a little gentle squeeze. And pressing the top of your left hip, or left thigh I should say, so your hip flexor. Take 1 more deep breath here. And then gently release the left leg long. And take a moment here to feel your 2 legs long in front of you. Stretch your arms above you now, and then point the toes and give yourself kind of like a first thing you would do in the morning, big stretch from head to toe, really from fingers to toes. And then as you breathe out, pull the shins up and in and wrap the arms around your legs and give yourself a big cannonball into a pool. Squeeze, drop the head back down onto the mat. And then gently lifting the legs up so that you can take your hands behind the knee pits. And it's really that crease right there at the top of the thigh. And then start to rock and roll along the length of your spine. You can really try to scoop the belly in so that the lower back, which sometimes doesn't curve as easily as the rest, can also kind of smooth out there. And then you'll pick up enough momentum to come up to a seat, cross your ankles, and adjust yourself so that you're now in this tabletop position. And you come to all fours. So the tops of the feet press, your hands are spread, or the fingers are spread wide. Take a couple of traditional cat-cow poses. So inhaling, you'll lift the chest. Exhaling, you'll scoop the navel up and in, dropping the head. Give yourself 3 to 4 more rounds. Just lifting and lowering. I'm going to turn around this way so that you can lift the tail up, lift the head, and exhale, scoop the sides of the waist up, really drop the head down. And then take a second to pause when you lift the sternum forward, tuck your toes under, and then start to sit your hips back. So it's kind of like a child's pose, but you've tucked your toes under. Then stretch the hands forward. And from here, come back up about halfway. So it's sort of halfway between hips on the heels and tabletop, right? So you have maybe a 45-degree angle behind your knees. And then keeping that angle, walk your hands more forward and lay your head down. This is called puppy pose. It's a nice way to open the thoracic spine. The head will come to the mat. I don't know about you, but right away I get a pop along the spine. So there's decompression happening as you lengthen the tail back, sternum forward, and the forehead down. As you stay here for a few breaths, if it's too much, if you have a pillow or something, you can bring the floor a little closer to you so that the hips again stay back, but the forehead can actually come down a little less low to the ground and you'll have something to rest it on. Wherever you wind up, start to think of the heart sinking towards the floor and really, really release the weight of your head down. And just stay for 8 breaths here. I'll join you guys. Breathing out completely. Inhale. 2. Count your remaining 6 breaths on your own. When you're ready to come up and out of it, slowly take the hand back underneath. Oops, my devices paused. We're back. Sorry, guys. All right, we're plugged in. So we're back in a tabletop position. We're just in puppy pose. If you guys on Instagram, because I think that paused for a second, missed that, feel free to take puppy pose for a few breaths. You can let the chest drop and the forehead come down. And then we'll all meet back in a tabletop position. So the tops of your feet will press. And then come up to finger tops again. And throughout this next section, it might be tempting to kind of let your hips sink back. Try to keep the hips right over the knees. Take your left fingers underneath the sternum and then lift the right arm up, way up. Flip the right palm forward and start to sweep the right hand forward and down. And when the right fingers come down, just go ahead and switch. So you'll lift the left arm up, inhale. Flip the palm forward, reach it forward and take it down. And then continue with this motion with your breath, inhaling to lift. Exhaling, sweep forward and down. Inhale, you lift. Exhale, forward and down. Do 3 more rounds. So 3 more complete rounds, and closing the eyes, you can sync up with the breath and start to feel this more fluid motion, almost like you're swimming. What you're doing is opening up the back of the heart, so right between the shoulder blades. You might start to feel the shoulders loosening up, just kind of flossing out through the shoulder head, but especially the back. And then after that third round, finish with your left fingers right underneath the sternum. Glide the right arm up, take a deep breath in. This time we're going to thread the right arm through. So you're going to come all the way through until the back of the right shoulder's on the floor. And then take the left arm either up or overhead, so the fingertops will stay tented up. You can take a big stretch into the left side body. So here you're opening the back of the right shoulder, the left side body. Try hooking your left hip crease back in space to keep the left side body long. Give yourself one more deep breath in and out. Take your left hand down to the floor to slowly unwind. Do one more big dramatic stretch with the right arm lifted up. You can take the right hand down. Let's take the left side. So inhale, left arm sweeps up. Exhale, slide it under. So threading the needle of the left arm through. You'll come to the back of your left shoulder. And then the left ear can come to the mat. Right fingers can come forward in front of you. So a big long stretch here. Or you could take the right arm up and drape it behind you. Various options here of the right arm. I enjoy taking this really, really extended stretch from right hip to right wrist. And give yourself about 3 full breaths here. And then slowly take the right arm up. Take the right hand down, press yourself up. Come back to a traditional tabletop position, and then give yourself a moment to really roll through the pelvis. So making big, big circles of the tailbone. And then let your head respond. So now the whole spine is getting a chance to spin circularly. You might want to close the eyes and give into this feel-good move. Go the other way. And slowing down enough to see and listen for if there are spots in the body or in the neck that really need some more attention. That might be one specific angle. You might slow down, take a breath there. And when you're done with that, go ahead and sit your hips back, cross your ankles. And we come through to do a couple of extended forward folds. The first one we'll do is simply like I'm doing here. I suggest sitting yourself on something. It could be, again, this towel from your bathroom, serving as a pretty thin lift for your hips. If you do have a more substantial pillow, any kind of pillow will do. This is like a fancy yoga meditation pillow, but anything to just lift the hips up a little bit would be helpful. Actually, I am going to sit on the lower one, and you might notice that varying heights give you varying degrees of stretch. So for here, we'll take the hands forward, and then drop your head. This might look simple now, but after about 1.5 minutes here, you're going to feel your hips opening big time, I think. If not, at least it's a chance to really drop the head and feel this forward fold of the spine, releasing the fascia of your erector spinae, the part of the back that holds you upright. So you'll drop the head. And the hands here, I should say, the goal is not to fold again. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see totally down deep, right? You're actually kind of staying upright enough to keep the hips rooted and to let the head drop forward. And if you'd like, you could take forearms to the floor. So the arms are serving like brakes here. And you could drop the head down. Scoot back so you can see the detail of the arms. Once you're in the pose, I'll keep an eye on the time. See if you can begin to let the full weight of your head, like a ripe fruit, dangle towards the floor. And so you're really, really releasing the back of the neck. If it seems more important for you to bring your elbows to something, your forearms to something, you could choose to do that. See if you could let the heaviness of your head be a chance to release any thinking that feels stagnant or congested, just like the thoughts would drift down onto the floor. You can even imagine that emptying out the contents of the mind. Give yourself 2 more breaths here. Let yourself settle into the quiet, into that space of stillness and quiet. And slowly come up. Simply change the ankle that's in front. You might notice that one side feels like way more natural. To me, it's like, no, this one doesn't go in front because my now right leg is kind of hoisted up. So just finding a way to even that out a little bit here. And as you fold forward again, take your time. You might start with 2 hands long. Go slowly enough to feel the detail on the right side. You bring your forearms down if that happens. Use the arms like brakes, but try to release any kind of work or effort. So this whole class is really an opportunity to practice letting go of the work. Take your time to release the head. You can really encourage the neck to let go. So the muscles on either side of the spine, the posturing muscles there, go all the way up, cervical spine, the neck, and you can release them as well, letting the head drape forward. See if the sound of your breath is still with you, and if it's not, gently bring your listening back to the sound of your breath. Breath by breath, if you can discover things that are ready to release, maybe it's the muscles of your face, the weight of the head, the hips, let it go. Checking on the time. Give yourself about 5 more breaths. Slowly start to come up. You find yourself on top. Move, if you had a prop you were using for your forearms, out of the way. Remove the blanket or prop that you were sitting on, also out of the way. Come back forward to a tabletop position. We're going to take a quick downward facing dog just to neutralize the right and left side body and unfold the backs of the legs. So once you're here in down dog, pedal through the backs of the legs. If this is ever strenuous for anybody practicing this yin yoga class with you, down dog, feel free to skip down dog. You can always take the knees down and extend one leg at a time back behind you. And then wherever you are, lower your knees to the mat. You take your right foot in front of you. We're going to set up for a pretty long hold of a low lunge. The back knee is on the mat, and I'm going to angle this a little bit this way. Once your back knee is down, decide if you'd like to take forearms to the floor. This is rather intense. In fact, I have pretty open hips, and it's like a lot to try to bring my forearms down. So if you want to find that same pillow that you were using for forearms, you can take your forearms there. Or you could simply take the hands to the floor. And again, use them like brakes so you can arrive at whatever depth feels appropriate for you. Try again to relax the head. Well, we do this pose in vinyasa classes and power flows and things that kind of pass through this with a more brief visit. This time we're going to hang out here, hopefully long enough to really release the connective tissue of the hip. So it's a different set of muscles than the ones that we use for lunging, hiking, and walking and jumping. So it's kind of like an archaeological dig. Each moment that goes by in the pose, you're getting a little bit deeper. Layer by layer, peeling away tension, stress that can build up in the body. Notice if your jaw absorbs any tension that has shifted out of the hip and into the mouth. Try to release that as well. Ready, start to come up. Take your time. You can either stay here or start to shift back to a down dog. If you'd like to take a quadricep stretch, you can bend the back knee and reach your right arm around to catch the back foot. Allow this catch of the foot to open up the right collarbone back behind you. When you're ready, release that. Go and come back to the downward facing dog. You can walk out the backs of the legs, you drop the head. And then when you're ready, you'll step the left foot forward, lower down to the right knee, untuck the back toes. And then same idea here. I'm just going to switch around. It feels like it's a little easier to do the other leg this way. So once you have the left foot to the outside of your left hand, you can take your time to figure out the depth of your fold. You could take forearms down. Maybe you use the pillow in front of you even for your hands. Eventually, once you find the support you need, you can take the arms and kind of steady them as brakes once more, dropping the head. Giving the outer glute of your left hip a moment to release. You may feel this in various other places like the front of the right thigh, the back of your left thigh. See if you can start to slow your breath down so that it becomes a constant, so that the ebb and flow of inhale and exhale might even start to resemble the wash of waves up on the shore and pulling back out to the sea. You can close the eyes and visualize that lapping of the water in as the breath flows in. And gentle drift back out to sea as the breath flows out. Sometimes when the body clings on in certain areas, when you invite it to let go, the mind can start talking a lot. And you might find yourself ruminating or circling back to familiar thoughts, and see if you can stay with the sensation of the hip or wherever you're feeling it. Noticing the jaw. Give yourself 3 more breaths. And slowly, when you're ready to come up. Come to your forearms. If you need to take your hands to a pillow or a bolster or blanket, you can do that, and we'll give the optional back bend of the right leg behind you, and you can grab the left outer heel or outer foot. Depending on what you've been up to, this can be really tight, really sensitive. An option here, actually, if you are having a little trouble grabbing the foot, is to take the towel around your foot. This is actually harder than I thought, but like a strap. You can pull the blanket. Yeah, that's pretty hard. If you got it, great. Gently release the foot. Come back to downward facing dog. Breathe out. Stick the tongue out of the mouth. Give even the facial muscles a little stretch there, and then come down to your knees or all the way through to sit. We're actually going to start winding down here. So the first thing that we'll do on our backs for this little wind down is to come back to kind of where we started here. And then I'll offer you the option of using a pillow or blanket under your hips if you need a little bit of lift. You could take it just right to the sacrum, and then we're going to come to a happy baby pose, and you'll grab the outer edges of your feet and roll the tailbone forward. Staying here for about 5 breaths. Instead of feeling pressure to grab the feet, know that you can also grab the ankles or even the backs of your thighs. Try to relax the shoulders towards the floor. And stay here for about 5 more breaths. After those 5 breaths, you can release the lower back from a pillow if you've had it on there. If you didn't, then let the soles of the feet come together and come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana is the butterfly pose with the feet together, so the soles of the feet together, and then the outer edge of the foot on the mat. Supta just means laying down, supine. So once you lay down on your back, let the hands face up. Start to smooth the breath out even more. Allowing the breath now to dictate how the body responds. You rise and fall with the breath, just like an accordion opens and closes with air. Rather than forcing the legs into any arranged or expected depth, just let the weight of the thighs fall towards the floor. ever so slowly, when you're ready, we'll start to take the legs in towards one another. And then for our final stretch, we'll do a figure four. We'll take the left ankle and cross it over the right. And you can either do a sort of thread the needle thing of your left arm coming through the hole of your legs there, and then you'll interlace your fingers under the right thigh, or you can take your left hand to the top of your left thigh. I'll face you this way so you can see what I'm saying. Just kind of gently pressing the thigh forward. And then I'm keeping the 2 feet flexed and letting the feet pull in towards me, opening the outer left hip again. So this is kind of like a second option of half pigeon. If half pigeon ever feels like it's tough on your joints, you can come here to this figure four. Give yourself another 3 to 5 breaths. Even though the right thigh is moving in, keep pushing your left thigh forward. Slowly, keeping the apparatus of your low body just like this, begin to tip the 2 thighs to your right until the sole of the right foot comes to the floor. Okay, so make sure you guys on Instagram can see that. I'll tip over. And then the back now is again in a supine twist. I always kind of like to even out my shoulder blades on the mat, so I'll lift up my back and slide the right shoulder to the right. Right fingers are going to prop themselves up against the left inner thigh. So there's not like a ton of work that you're putting into this press. It's kind of like a kickstand. The fingers stay here, and then the weight of your inner left knee is going to pour onto the fingers, and the 2 of them hold each other in place. Then let the chin look right or center or left. Just figure out where is comfortable for your head. Close the eyes again and start to sink once more into this stillness. You might notice that the breath is constantly changing. There's no way to keep one breath. The inhale inevitably changes into an exhale and vice versa. And similarly, thoughts come in and they change, and a new one comes in. Sounds might come and go. There's the sound of a helicopter here now. Knowing, however, that it will change and eventually leave and a new one comes. And just like the breath and the sounds and the thoughts, the sensations in the body do the same. It's a constant state of flow. You notice if the left outer hip feels any different. And see if you could allow it to naturally shift. Keep breathing to notice exactly how it feels. And in letting it be and not resisting the sensation, it will shift. Give yourself 3 more breaths. See if your face can release a little. Noticing that with time, the experience changes a lot. Slowly start to pull the 2 legs back up into the center. Just give your knees a little rock forward and back. And turn around to this side. Change sides, taking the right ankle to the left thigh. Once you lay down, you close the eyes, and two options of the arms here, unless you have a third option that you like, or fourth. Hands can come through this little diamond ahead. The right hand goes through the leg hole, and then the two hands interlace behind your left calf. You can keep flexing both feet. So that's one option. The other is to just take the right hand and gently push the right knee forward. It's going to increase the stretch on your right hip. As you do this, try to keep the jaw relaxed. Stay for about 2 more breaths. And then slowly, just like we did with the left leg on top, start to rock your 2 thighs to the left. Ooh. I went for an incredibly long and challenging hike yesterday, and I'm feeling it now. Take your left fingers to the inner right knee. And again, there's not a ton of effort there to hold the leg in place. It's just like a kickstand, so you can kind of release the work of your right knee or right leg. With just that little bit of pressure of your fingers into the inner right knee, you'll get the stretch. Chin can look up to the right or to the left. And start to watch the breath again here. Listening to that beautiful quiet of the rest of the room. And maybe you have kids running around or music going. Seeing if you could notice the inner quiet. And see if you could feel for that moment in time between the inhale and the exhale. A little pause at the bottom of the exhale before the breath in comes. There's a little pause at the top of the inhale before the exhale happens. Kind of like when you're on a swing set and there's this moment of suspension, pause at the top before the swing goes back the other way. Keep watching for that brief moment of pause at the peak of the inhale and at the base of the exhale. Releasing the outer right glute if you can. Letting the weight of your right knee be supported by the left fingers. Staying for about 3 more breaths. Really slowly pulling your legs back to center. This time giving the knees some circles so the thigh bones move around in the hip joint. We'll move into Shavasana next. Extending the legs long in front of you. I'm going to find my towel here. And I'm going to make myself a little pillow with the towel. And I've folded it to just be kind of like a, let's see, maybe it looks like an inch now. Probably when my head's on it, it's going to squish down a little bit. But you'll relax the head just enough to tuck your chin into the throat. So you get this length along the back of the neck, the cervical spine. Take the hands down to my sides and I'll let the palms face up for Shavasana, the eyes closed. I'll talk you through meditation here. For those of you who want to stay lying on your back, I suggest at least staying here for the first 5 minutes.
If you want to rest longer, of course, dive deep into your meditation or rest.
With the eyes closed, let the energy behind the eyes, so the seeing out, let that turn in, almost like the weight of your eyes could sink back into your head and down. Let the corners of your mouth and the corners of your eyes relax. Keep noticing the flow of your breath. Let the weight of your feet and your shins fully surrender to gravity. And do the same with your thighs and your hips. Relax the hips. And let your attention travel up to the belly and to the back. And let the whole of your back side melt into the floor. So the glutes, your thighs, your calves, your heels, everything along the spine that's touching the floor, the shoulders, the back of the head. Almost like the back of you can melt like honey into the floor. Let your front side soften so that it can absorb the breath in, opening as you breathe in, and softening as you breathe out. Notice where the mind goes when the body becomes still. Whenever you feel distracted by thought, let your mind rest on the breath, tracking the inflow and outflow of the breath. Allow thoughts to come and go, and if some of them get a little clingy, just notice. And the following exhale, encourage that thought to let go, just like the breath. You can imagine if you are meditating here, that in the mind there's a net right at the top of your consciousness. And that into the net can fall any thoughts that come in. You can catch them there. And beneath the net is open space, like blue sky. So there's no bad thought, good or bad. They all just kind of pile up into that net, just like leaves falling. Start to let your consciousness exist beneath the net in the blue sky space. As you exist from there, you just notice the thoughts that come in and fall into the net. Keep feeling and noticing the spaciousness of the blue beneath it. And slowly start to deepen the breath. As your breath deepens, start to let the body wake back up. Moving your fingers and toes. Taking your time to stretch the arms You can take as long as you need to find your way up to a seat. We'll finish together. For those of you who are streaming live or watching this later, come up and we'll finish in a seat. So you're finding now some containment again in the form of your body, bringing your consciousness back to the body. Give your spine a nice lift up. So you feel almost like a regal seat here. And take your hands together, feeling right and left hand joined, and feel the heat of the palms. And then bow your chin down, sealing your practice with this gesture of self-respect and reverence to whatever you would like to dedicate this to. It could be the healing of many, the healing of yourself, love for those who need it. Exhale, release the breath. Inhale. And exhale. And that's it for today. Thank you guys. My name is Allie, and I'm just so happy to be able to give you guys this yoga from my living room to yours or wherever you might be. I keep doing it. So Sundays will be yin yoga restorative. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is the vinyasa flow. I'm loving hearing from you guys. Please tell me what you want and need. And I put a donation link in the YouTube account. So if you go to the YouTube account and feel inclined to donate, you can click the link in the description, and it will bring you to like a PayPal thing. And all of that is so greatly appreciated. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. My name's Allie. Have a great rest of your Sunday and a good week. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.